Istria. It's a peninsula at the north of the Adriatic Sea, which is part of the Mediterranean. Today, it's mostly known as a seaside holiday destination for Central Europeans. But if you look behind the placid coastline, you can realize it's pretty much just a mess. So when you enter the region, its signs are in 2 languages. But it's even more complicated than that. Most of Istria is multilingual, the most spoken being Croatian, Slovenian and Italian. And actually, most of the so-called Italian speakers you can actually hear speaking in some sort of Venetian. But it gets even messier than that. In the innermost part of Istria, the landscape changes dramatically. All those Venetian-looking towns by the coast are far away, and everywhere you look appear fields, forests, and rocky mountains. And, well, if you happen to be in this kind of area, it's where you can find a whole new side of Istria. That would be Istro-Romanian. Being quite an isolated area, yet historically surrounded by all kinds of borders, it has always been mainly about farming and contraband. Farming and contraband, now that would be an excellent name for a rock band. Anyway, think about it. This language, Istro-Romanian, is spoken by fewer and fewer people every year. Nowadays it's almost undocumented. Therefore, in the age of AI, if you want to be original and not be understood by those machine learning monsters that are taking over, well, just go and speak Istro-Romanian. You'll be fine for sure. And then there's Hum. It has the Guinness World Record for being the smallest city in the world for some reason, with only about 20 inhabitants. Said to be built by giants who, after they all built all the fortified towns and cities in the area, they ended up building Hum with just a few leftover rocks. In Hum, there's an ancient script that still seems to be kind of in use, actually. The Glagolitic. It's known as the oldest Slavic script and, well, it's definitely peculiar, as you can see. And these are not even all of Istria's languages. There's also a non-spoken language, which is that of visual art. Sometimes it's ancient, sometimes medieval. When things get complicated to understand, one tends to go just visual. This is what was done in Hrastovlje, where there's a church with a death dance depiction that is over 500 years old. This fresco had actually been plastered over and was only rediscovered in 1949. It depicts people of all walks of life, from kings and popes to beggars and babies, being led by skeletons towards death itself. In a way, it's very egalitarian. Was this complicated enough for you? It definitely was for me, and well, it turns out understanding Istria is quite a difficult task for pretty much everyone. And well, if the message from the death dance we saw is that everyone is time to enjoy life, because once it's gone in the same way for all of us, well, perhaps the people of Istria and the beautiful mess they find themselves into, they may be onto something.